Basement doctor, I got the blues. Talk about leaks, well, I've got a few.
The company started in 1939. Joe and Dolores Belani started J&D Masonry Contracting Company, and then their son Joe got involved, and he knew Tom, and Tom knew some other people. So there were a lot of changes in the very beginning, as happened with a lot of companies.
During 1988, I met Ron Greenbaum, and Ron, immediately I came to the conclusion that with Ron's sales and marketing acumen that we could be a lot more successful than we were at the time.
And at the time it was just a very small home improvement company, and I met my partner, Tom Johnston, who was somebody that really cared about the customers, and he was new in the industry as well, and it was a small kind of mom and pop home improvement company that he got involved with because he was originally from Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We met each other and we formed a bond and a relationship, and my background was the rock and roll business and also dealing with customers and people, and I was able to really bring the marketing in, and once I became the basement doctor, that's when the company really grew. A lot of people do want to know, how did I become a basement doctor? You know, I've always said I'm going to write a book of how I became a doctor without going to medical school, and that was going to be the title. But, you know, it's seriously, you luck into certain things, and I was on my way to a trade show on Route 70 between Columbus, Ohio and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I looked over and there was a billboard that said the house doctor. And I thought, wow, that really describes what that guy's doing. You know, he's working on your house. And so I thought to myself, well, you know, I'm the basement doctor. I've done a lot of studying. I know my craft. I've put a lot of time and effort and energy into learning and a lot of training, and I have a lot of certifications. So I didn't think it would be an extreme to call myself the basement doctor. And then I found out that, you know, the national trademark was available and applied for it, and I became the basement doctor. And as they say, the rest is history.
Being in HR, you know, I go through all the enrollments with people, and one thing I always point out is a contract of quality commitment that Tom and Ron came up with themselves that says, you know, every employee walking in here is dedicated to honesty and integrity in all of their business dealings, learning new opportunities, the pre-inspect program. We really want to make sure that every step of the process, we have people that know what they're doing and that will get the customer exactly what they want.
I think that we here at the Basement Doctor have a group of individuals who all seem to pull together and all care sincerely about the job that we perform and the services that we are putting out there and offering to the public.
I feel that our company, everybody takes pride in what they do, you know, because we're held accountable for our actions, for our work, for everything that we do. They hold us accountable.
It's the culture here. You know, I think a lot of the people that we have that work here have come from other construction companies or other waterproofing contractors, and they've seen kind of what is, you know, what's to be offered in the marketplace from a service standpoint. And I think it's refreshing to go to work for a company that you feel confident that no matter, you know, that you're trained, you know what you're doing, the company trusts you to do what it is that you're doing, and then more importantly, at least from a project manager's perspective, that we're able to follow through, and we do follow through on the promises that are made, rather than, you know, a salesman going out to somebody's house, selling them a solution, and then production goes out and to install the project, and you know, it's nothing like what we said it was going to be.
Somebody calls in, they think they have a problem. We'll send somebody out to evaluate. Lots of times we tell them, look, this is something we need to monitor, maybe you can do it yourself. We don't always just contract with somebody. Then once they monitor it, or they maybe fix their gutters or some things like that, if they still need us, then the project manager will come back out there and he'll evaluate it and he'll price the job and the scope of the work, things like that. Then it comes back, and we still don't absolutely guarantee we're going to do the work until the person doing the work looks at it. Once they go out there, they determine it was all done properly. We want to make sure that we're ready. because this is a life-changing, waterproofing a basement or fixing a structure or doing a basement finishing, it's like a life-changing experience. It costs a lot of money and it takes a lot of time and it's stressful. So we want to make sure we take all that and we want to make it as easy as possible for the homeowner. Our goal is to make it easy, and we say that time and time again at our production meetings, at our meetings with our project managers. We kind of have a credence, and that talks about making it easy on everybody and making it easy on the company, doing your paperwork the right way, making sure the scope of the work is done properly, and then making sure the homeowner has a total understanding, as much as you can, of what's going to be accomplished there. And we've been pretty darn good at it.
We're out there usually about a week ahead of time. We go out after work, meet the customer so that we can go over the job and introduce ourselves.
Typically when I get there, I want the homeowner, to feel comfortable with me being the person that's going to be in their home. I'm coming with some other guys, so therefore, I want my first appearance to be my best appearance.
The confidence comes from the company's reputation that, we do good work, and as long as you're in there and they can see that, you're one of those experienced people that do that work, that confidence already there. Then you just want to assure them, that the reputation we have follows you too, that you can back that up.
We survey at the end of the job everybody that we do work for. And as far as we can tell, we're running somewhere around the 98% customer satisfaction. And the net result of that is we've won about every award you can in our industry, both internationally, nationally, and locally. We're the only winner in the waterproofing industry ever of the Better Business Bureau Integrity Award.
We have, without a doubt, the best production department in the industry, and with these guys know exactly what it is that they're doing. They get it done in a timely manner. They do it in a professional manner. The job sites are kept clean, and in the end, that's really what the customer remembers more than anything else, is how professional and how smoothly the project went, how clean the job is during and after the job is completed. And without a great production team, we could sell people projects all day, we could contract with people to do projects all day, but if they're not installed properly, you don't get a reputation like we have. You don't get the Integrity Award through the Better Business Bureau. You don't get the Angie's List Super Service Awards. You don't get the Consumer Choice Awards.
Without a doubt, our reputation stands for itself.
Well, it is us, but it's not just us. When you say us, it's us, everybody. It's the people that work here. It's the people that work here, the care that they have for the homeowners, for the company, and for each other. I've been here for 20 years, almost, just about 20 years, pushing it. And I've stayed here that long because from the owners down, we all care about this company. I'm as vested in this company almost as much as Tom and Ron, who own the company, because I've been here for so long. I want to make sure it succeeds. I want to make sure that reputation stays there so that I can be here for another 20 years too. So it is the people. We all care about our jobs, we all care about our customers, and we care about each other. And that includes Ron and Tom caring about their employees and their customers and whatnot. I always say that management takes care of the employees are happier, they're going to take better care of your customers. And that's true here. They take good care of us, we take good care of their customers, and that keeps the chain rolling so that we can continue to do that year after year after year.
We picked the crew based on, is this the right crew to do this kind of work? Absolutely.
We do work for performance bonuses, but it doesn't help us any if the job isn't done right, because they can come back and take that money from us. If if there's a service, if there's a problem, that's on us. So I don't work quickly. I just want to work correctly. I actually just had a customer the other day. She was really nervous, and I told her not to worry. Now it's my problem. And from that point on, she was good. She just come in there and she would say that, Mike is still your problem, and she's okay now, so I want to take the burden off of them and let them know, hey, this is ours now. We give you a warranty, so something goes wrong, we're the ones coming to fix it.
We protect the homeowner's floors, walls, belongings, everything from carpets where we're walking in and out upstairs and everything to dust covers in the basement. We have negative air machines, which helps create a negative airflow to keep dust from flowing throughout the house. Anything that's nasty that we're taking out of the basement is all put into commercial-sized trash bags and carried out that way, so we're not carrying wet, moldy insulation through your house and all that kind of stuff and everything. You always heard the saying, treat things like it was your house. We treat it better than our house.
Well, I've actually had people, the head of the Springfield Housing Authority, we did a big project for them, and at the end she wrote me a letter and she said, what was really amazing to me was you left our properties way cleaner than you found them. They swept the grounds on the outside, they picked up the people's trash. It was amazing to her. And again, that was a very tough project because it was all crawl spaces and it was muddy. It was done in the middle of the winter, and we actually lifted these I think it was 16 buildings back into place. And when you get letters like that, then you realize that you really have great people.
I feel that our people are better trained. We have dependable people, competent people. Again, we do drug testing. We require people to maintain their driver's licenses unblemished to the extent that you can. And we train people, and then we have a good management team that helps fortify that with our installation people, with our marketing people, with our sales people.
Well, I tell you what I like the most. What I like the most is that we will every time, without pause, without exception, do whatever is in the customer's best interest, no matter what, okay? Everything that we do is in their best interest. We don't want to go out and just do work for the sake of doing work. We want to make sure that they understand it. We want to make sure that it's the right solution.
What makes us different is integrity and responsibility. We're responsible in the office, we're responsible in the field, and that makes us responsible in your home.
Project managers knowing what they're doing and documenting and setting up a project the proper way. Everything being handled properly in the office from the first phone call all the way to the time that the paperwork is processed, and then the production department installing it in a professional manner, in such a way that it is exactly what the homeowner thought that it would be.
Well, I feel that our company is not a company, it's a family. It starts from the front door and it goes all the way around, from the people up front to the people in the back. We all communicate from the time the salesman goes to the house, till I go there, till the job is finished, till the paperwork comes back with the financing, people up front, everyone is in the loop.
Over the years, we've innovated our industry, not just in Columbus, Ohio, but we've innovated it internationally. We brought carbon fiber to the marketplace to be used to stop walls from bowing. That was brought to us by an engineer that used to actually work at this company, and was developed here with his partner who worked for the state of Ohio with carbon fiber, and they developed something that was very unique, and it was amazing that something that's 1/4 of an inch thick and 4 inches wide could stop a wall that even 30,000 pounds of pressure from pushing a wall in. And we developed that and brought it to the marketplace.
One of the biggest differences is that we're never standing still. Okay, we don't live in the past. We don't always rely on what's there. I mean, look, at one point in time, you used to get out in your driveway in a horse and buggy and go to work. Well, technology's brought us a long way, and I think one of the biggest differences between us and anybody else is that we are constantly innovating. And we're innovating to the point where people copy that. So, we create new products, other people copy the products, so we create new products. We're always on the move and always thinking ahead, always wondering how we can do that thing better, how we can install that product better, how we can make that product better to make sure that the homeowner's protected.
I think it's very, very important that we don't just come out with platitudes. In other words, we just brag about how good every company talks about, and that's their job. this is how great you are and everything, but what I try to do, and I tell all my people this, when somebody asks you that question of why should we deal with you, what I try to do is find people we've dealt with over the years to tell them the answer to that question, because, you know, again, why trust anybody? And in this day and age, you know, you got to be very transparent. And again, after 25 years, I think that says something in itself, that we're still the #1 brand in the industry. And I think that everybody else is always trying to play catch up, but sometimes they do, and we got to run further ahead.
My favorite thing about the company is what we stand for. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And I think that is the difference. The biggest difference here, the biggest difference that we have here at the Basement Doctor is summed up in 2 words: we care.
We are systems oriented, and we want to use the same system, because if we do, we're going to get it right. So we want to make sure that everybody is highly trained, that they're dealt with, that we make it easy on the customer. And the word easy comes up a lot in our culture, because that's the job. The job is to make it easy on everybody, both internally and externally. And we want to duplicate those great jobs as much as you possibly can. What we try to do is give back to the community, and one of the things we're heavily involved with is animal rescue. And so what we're doing is we're trying to, almost every event we do, we want to have a component for a charity. And primarily it will be for the Capillary Humane Society. And last year we were involved with adopting 2,400 animals. And this year I'd like to see double that. And I know that's a very lofty goal, but I think it's quite possible. I've been called Rabbi Basement, I've been called Professor Basement, I've been called a lot of things. And the important thing is that, again, I want to be able to go get a tank of gas and have somebody look across their car and say, you know what, 20 years ago you did a job for me, and my grandchildren are still playing in that basement. I always try to make sure that when people go into their basement after we've done the work, that they actually literally say, wow, and I've heard it. I've heard customers go, wow, look at this, and call their friends or have parties in their finished basements, things like that. So we still have the wow factor, I think, in a lot of the things we do. As with a lot of companies, you know, you make every mistake you can, and we've learned from that. And 25 years later, we try not to make those mistakes, because it's all about the customer. And we learned early on, you can do a lot of work, but if you don't have trained people, if you don't have systems in place that can handle the volume, then you didn't do anybody any good.
You know, looking back over 25 years, well, it sounds like a long time. From my perspective, it's probably gone a lot faster than I would have expected looking ahead. 25 years ago, looking ahead to 2012 was just unthinkable. But having said all that, what we're looking forward to is even greater challenges for the next 25 years.
Well, you know, that's 20 years down the road, you know, what I'd like to think is that our culture continues, which is the core of the business is taking care of the customers. That's what we really want. So no matter what we do, and you know, what I've learned over the years is that, and we've gotten involved in mold remediation, we've gotten involved in restoration of basements, and we've gotten involved with energy efficiency and new products, things like that. What we try to do, and I think my job as the CEO, and when I say CEO, it's the Chief Education Officer, my job is to go out into the world, find new things, or try to invent things really, that can help a person's environment, because what we try to give people is a drier, cleaner, healthier, more energy efficient home, and I think we're pretty darn successful at it. We have a very limited time on television to put the message across, and the message I always wanted to get across is you can trust me. That's really what I think, and when you're trusting me, you're trusting 100 other people. I want everybody that's out there to convey that same message to our customers, that we can be trusted. And trust is earned.
You don't